Can you see here? This is the 7th day, but I want you to be familiar with the data set today itself. But nonetheless, we'll go, because there are some things that you should know before going onto the data sets. So I'll repeat this topic again on the 7th day. So the two types of data set that we are using is the first one is the break his data set. And the second one is UBC Ocean. Why it is named like this, we'll just see that in a little while. So this is not just a single cancer classification exercise. This is, we have deliberately chosen two data sets from different cancer type. One is breast and one is ovarian. Okay. And so what does it reflect? What is the research ambition? So we wanted to build a pipeline that generalized across cancer morphologies, not only for one cancer type. Let us see whether we can build a multi-purpose model which can detect more than many cancer types, several cancer types. Okay. So not only just one tumor family. So these are some essence of what we are going to do. Multi-cancer validation. So not only one, but more than one cancer validation we can do. How the CNN will learn and how we can use it generally for any histological cancer images. Second most important thing which you should know is a real world imbalance. So both dataset exhibit class imbalance. What do you mean by class imbalance is, let me show you. You see, so this is kind of a balanced data only. Now you see this is imbalance, right? So the first class, which is, these are some abbreviations for the cancer type, like high grade serous carcinoma is HGSC. So we'll look at all these abbreviations later. So, but you just have a look. You see HGSC, I have talked about this class imbalance yesterday. So HGSC, it has nearly 248 images. But on the other hand, this low grade serous carcinoma, that is LGSC, has only 40 images. So don't you think that when we are training, there will be, bias, and the CNN model will be more tilted to learn towards, it will learn more patterns from HGSC, but it will ignore most of the patterns from LGSC. So there will be a chance of misclassification. We will have this problem of misclassification. We can say that some labels are overrepresented and some labels are underrepresented. What are labels? Labels are nothing but the names of each classes. So this is the data set. Definitely will not be going in deep now, because again I'll touch this topic on the 7th day. So two types of cancer, break is for breast cancer and UBC Ocean for ovarian cancer. Now we have 8 subtypes. So under this 8 subtypes, 4 of them are benign images and 4 of them are malignant. In ovarian, we have only 5 malignant classes. Okay, this is much more simpler data set when we compare to Breakis. So the total images are full images of 7,909 images over here we have. But here 534 WSI. Please note it down. WSI is whole slide images. Okay, so whole slide images. And why tiles is written over here? Because it is broken into small patches. Let me show it to you. So this is an UBC Ocean data set in Kaggle. So if you look at this image, so the whole image, can you see grids over here? Yeah. This is the,
Yes,
suppose
ma'am.
this is whole image. So only you can see there are some very white blank grids. So unnecessary details are removed. So these are known as curated data. Something, you are pre-processing it. You are removing, suppose if these white tiles will have background information and colors, CNN will try to read them also, and the memory and the RAM, they will be consumed. That is why they are pre-processed and unwanted data are removed. Okay, these are curated. And even after that, since it is like, it may go like 10,000 pixel by 10,000 pixel image, it can be a very high resolution image. So what we are doing is we are breaking it into tiny patches. So at a time, maybe it might take a little bit longer, but at a time, the CNN model will focus on only a smaller patch. So it won't be computational heavy on the system. Understood? So this is what it is the meaning of like WSI tile. So it is broken down into patches. So like that, we have 534 images only. Now, when we look at the Brickhiss, we have different magnification levels also for the same tissue slide. So same tissue slide is taken under 40x magnification, then 100x magnification, 200 and 400x. But there's one single magnification in ovarian cancer. Now, if I want to show you Brickhiss data set, okay, so this is the Brickhiss cancer histopathological images. Now here I'm clicking on the folder. So here, this is one directory, one folder, Brickhiss version 1. If I open this, I have another folder, histology slides. Okay, under that, one folder, breast histology slides. Inside this, we have got two slides. So these are nothing but this is some Linux sh files. This is a text file. So if you open this text file, you will get some sample details, and as a bioinformatician, you should open each and every text file also. Why? Because here you can see, here, there's the detail. What is the procedure? The procedure is known as biopsy. Okay, the biopsy procedure is CNB SOB. We will look into the detail in day 7. What do you mean by CNB SOB? So tumor classes, there are two tumor classes. One is malignant, one is benign. So whenever we use this data, for malignant, we use the letter M, the label is M, and for benign, the label is B. So all these data, these are known as metadata, data about your data. So you should read all these things. README text files are very important as a bioinformatician for you. Okay. So apart from, any data set will not only give you the raw data, it will also give you annotated text files. It should be well labeled. Only then you can proceed into bioinformatics work or computational work. Otherwise, it is very, hard. Now, this is a bash file. Like Afrin had asked me, ma'am, what is Linux? So inside the Linux, if you want to work, you run these bash files, and every bash file will start with this bash. This is known as bash shebang. This thing, hashtag exclamation mark /bin/bash. So here, when we every file should be starting with this. Only then the Linux system will understand that it is a bash file and it will execute this file. Right now, there is no need for you to understand what is this. We'll go back to the folder structure. Right now, what we have to do is we just need to understand our data set. So we'll go for the folder, image folder. So Brickhiss version 1 and histology slides. Under breast folder, we have got two image folders. Okay, and each folders are having 6 files. The first is benign and second one is malignant. So under benign, you see we have got so many readme text files. You see, readme. What do you mean by readme? It will give you all the informations about this SOB folder. Okay, now SOB is nothing but the procedure from which you have done this biopsy. Okay, and in this we have got 1, 2, 3 and 4 type of cancer. So they are the first type of benign cancer, sorry, not cancer, I'll say benign tumor, is adenosis, and the statistics are given. So do you think that these files will be important, or you just need to give the image file and that is enough for us? What do you think? We need these text files or not? Do you think we do need these text files, or just giving images to the CNN is enough? What do you think?
Need of text file.
Yeah, we need this. Correct. We need this. Okay, because apart from images, most of the data will can be captured from these text files, and they are very, less memory intensive. So that's better. You have to go through this. Next, so if I open this SOB BA1422549AB, all this CD9G, you can see this long codes over here. So these are nothing but the label. These belongs to different patient. Okay. So what I have opened, only adenosis. For adenosis inside, okay, I'll go back now. So inside SOB, you have got adenosis, fibroadenoma, and phyllodes tumor, tubular adenoma. So if I open adenosis, yeah, so if I open adenosis, I have got some labels like A14, 22549. So these are patient labels. Okay, so we can understand that these are coming from different patients. So now again, one more question. Do you think that names of the patients are also important? Yes or no?
Yes.
Computer, yes. Can you tell me,
Yes.
even if you don't know that, can you just tell me, um, why is it important? Why the patient name is more also important, not only blindly giving images? So why text file? Okay, text file is important because it will, you know, take out some important data, and text files are not so computationally memory intensive. But what about patient details? Why do the CNN model also need patient details? What would you tell me about it? What do you think about it? To know about their conditions. Okay, fine. To know about the conditions, like which patient has which condition, fine. Also, when I started with this, we learn by making mistakes. So I'm telling about my mistake. I also took all these things very lightly, and what I did is I fed the model only with the images, and the model was just memorizing and not learning that which patient had which kind of tumor. Also, the most important problem with the not giving the patient level details is that sometimes what you do know, when such a huge data, you'll be processing in a batch. Understood? So while you're processing in a batch, what happens is, suppose you want to divide all the batches equally. Now you have seen that there are so many class imbalance. Like, if I go back to this graph, can you see, if you want to break this into equal number of batches, don't you think that this HGSE is like 248 and LGSE is only 40? So is it possible to divide equally into equal number of batches? Don't you think that this data will be, transferred into this label from HGSE to LGSE, so that computer will be it will try to balance, make it, equal? Don't you think? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
It can happen, right? To make equal number of batches with equal number of slides, it may redistribute the images totally, not being concerned about that this image might not belong to the other patient. It can happen. Can you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Yeah.
No, ma'am. Repeat again.
Okay, I'll repeat it again. um Take this example. HGSC is having how many? 248 images. Okay. LGSC is having 40 images. It has 80, it has 95, it has 71. Now total nearly more than 500 images we have. Okay. Now if you want to give total 500 image at a single time, what happens? The RAM may overheat. It is so computationally intensive. Your model will crash because processing images is a mm, very big deal, computationally very intensive. Till now, it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So what we are doing is we are making 10 batches. Okay. So we will make 10 batches. So if we make 10 batches, each batch will have only 50 images. And at one single point of time, at one single step, so CNN model will, evaluate, or it will be trained on only 50 images one at a time. You think it is okay, it is good. Equal stratification as in we can say equal distribution of the image has been done. But when we do equal distribution of the images, don't you think some of this data will be taken from this and transferred to this another class to make the number of images equal? Yes or no? Just to make each batch equal, the class or the label that is having more number of images, some of the images will be taken out from the dominant class, and it will be distributed and put into the into that class which has lesser images. Yes or no? Yes. Hariom, now can you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you want me to repeat again, I'll repeat it again also. Not an issue.
No, ma'am. Clear.
Now you clear? So what happens is, this is known as data leakage. Okay, there's two types of data leakage while training and testing, but this is also like the images from one class can be distributed into another class, or in the case of break his data set, we had folders here, right? So we had folders labeled separate for separate patients. So SOBBA14, and after that we have 25549AB. This is for one. This is first patient ID. 22549CD is the second patient ID, and 22549G is the third patient ID. So patient IDs are different. So, and every patient, they don't have equal number of images also. Now, if I open each patient, okay. So if I open each patient has, you see, 100x image, 200x image, 400x magnification, and 40x magnification. Can you see that does each of the images have same number of files? Are they equally
No.
distributed? No. What it may do, it will take from 32, it will take 1 and add to the file 29 here. So now everything is 30, but this is still 31. Okay. So like that, one file is coming from 200x of one patient and it is going into 40x. So at that time, some misclassification can happen. Okay. So we have to make sure that the labeling of your each image must be strictly followed, so that every image, the CNN must know it is coming from which patient, which magnification level, and which particular tumor type, and which particular like cancer, like is it benign or malignant. So the importance of label, I was just trying to tell you what is the importance of label. Okay. Labels are nothing but the names. Again, I'll tell you what are the labels. Okay. I'll tell you what are the labels. So we are going on the parent folder. So the parent folder is breakis. So this is the name of the folder. And they whoever has processed this one, he had put everything under another folder known as histology slides. When we open histology slides, we are getting another folder. So all the breast cancer or the breast tumor images are inside the folder breast. Now, when we open this, we have got, now the label has already started. So the label is the first upper level, upper hierarchical level label is benign. So the first one is benign and malignant. You understood? This is the label. So which one will go to benign? Which one will go to malignant? How will you tell your CNN model? You must know that how they are named. And when we opened the readme.txt, there we came to know that malignant, in short, it is known by the name M, and benign, it is in short, it is known by the name B. Got it? Labels. What is your name? What is your name? Tell me. Anyone?
Hari Om.
Yeah, Hari Om. So that's your label. Name of a person, name of a folder, name of a file.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now did you
Understood.
get it? Yeah. Okay. So what is the name of this folder? Upper level folder. One benign folder, one malignant folder, and then we are using it in a short abbreviation like B and M. Understood? Now when I open benign, under this, I have SOB folder. So since there's only one type of biopsy, this is a kind of a biopsy. So the details are there here, right? What kind of biopsy it is, but we'll look into detail, in day 7, right? So SOB is just the name of the type of biopsy. Now you have got the major labels over here. The first one was benign and malignant, and under benign, you have got adenosis. Short form we can write as A. Then we have got fibroadenoma. Short form we can write as FA. Why I'm not assigning the short forms over here? I have read the TXT files. I have read the other research papers. And by the convention, since this is a publicly available data set, and all the research, most of the researchers, when they are working, they are, following this convention. So did you get it? Adenosis, fibroadenoma, and then just like that, if we go to previous slide, so this is like breast slide, and if I open malignant, so we have got again 4 types of malignant um, tissues. Ductal carcinoma, lobular, ductal carcinoma is DC, lobular carcinoma is LC, mucinous carcinoma MC, and papillary carcinoma as PC. So if I open this directory, okay, you see ductal carcinoma, it has 38 directories. Okay, so many. That means the number of images is huge in this. Okay, so 38 directories, each directory, and I have opened this now. Can you see any the pattern? Just look at the pattern and tell me whether is it benign or is it malignant. Just tell me, how can you see? Is it arranged or very random pattern? Can you just tell me what type of pattern this is? Tell me. You are not able to tell?
No.
So I had opened which one? Carcinoma. So carcinoma, whenever you hear carcinoma, you know that is malignant. Okay. So if I go back here, let me open one benign image, adenosis. Here in adenosis, you can see round glandular structure, yes or no? Perfect structure
ma'am.
is visible. It is not random. But the previous image was
Yes, ma'am.
random, like totally, no patterns at all. Yes or no? So now a little bit trained. Are you trained on identifying your benign image, You can see, na? Here, your glands are visible, yes or no? Yes?
Ma'am, also in previous figure, there's also be a sign of that like figure.
Fine. Okay. May I know who is talking? Because when I'm sharing the screen, no, I'm not able to look at the person who
Hariom,
is.
Hariom,
Yes, Hariom.
I'm Hariom.
Tell me. Yeah.
In
What
previous
sign did
image,
you?
there's also shape like a round structure. How can you recognize this is a
Okay.
malignant
In
and
previous
this
also
is
you have
the
seen. Okay. Let me try to
yes, ma'am.
open simultaneously. This is adenosis. I've opened adenosis 100x. Okay. Here you see this is adenosis. So this is benign. And here I will open a malignant. So break his histology slides, breast, and we'll go for malignant and SOB. Let us open ductal carcinoma, first one, and 100x file. Anyone. So which one shall I open where you can see round patterns? Tell me which one. You tell me, I'll open it. The second and third one where the patterns are visible for you and you are confused whether this is you know,
Visi-
yeah.
visible,
Okay,
ma'am.
shall I open third one? Shall I open this one or the second one?
Yes, second or third.
Okay, third one I'm opening. So you are thinking now these are the patterns. Are these looking like glands?
Yes,
You have to train your eyes first, okay? Let me show you this one. Here you see the glands, how they are. Look at the pink and the purple texture, please. Yesterday I taught
yes,
you,
ma'am.
that means you are not revising. I taught you the more the purple, the more the blue or the purple stain, that means that's more dense. First, I have opened the yesterday's page also. We don't want to see, we don't want to look at the dense areas. Now, can you understand? More pink, more
Yes, ma'am.
stromal areas we want to see. We don't want to see this area, let me, desmoplasia. So stroma should not be dense. It should not be desmoplastic. Here, you can see the pattern, but the pattern is reversed. Everyone, others also. Do you follow what we are conversing here, Hariom and I? This is
Yes, ma'am.
malignant now. It is
Yes,
more
ma'am.
purple. This is not the glandular structure. This is more dense, as in more division activity, more negatively charged molecules. Now, negatively charged molecules, why? Because it is stained purple, and purple, hematoxylin, it binds to negatively charged molecules, and negatively charged molecules are DNA, RNA, and other protein, except for histones, other proteins which are helpful for more division or transition from cancer, from benign to cancerous stage. All those proteins are also negative. Many proteins are negatively charged. So you see purple, we should not look at more purple. And no circular, you see, there is no circular glandular pattern over here. I'll show you the other one. Here you can see purple, a definite boundary. Can you see? Yesterday I repeated the term. What was the term? Respect of boundaries. Can you see the boundaries are respected over here?
No.
Yeah. Okay. And here the boundaries are respected. A particular
Bo-
structure. Is there any doubt still remaining?
no, ma'am.
So why I did not open the UBC ovarian cancer image? I can open it also, but the thing is that we only have got malignant one. Now you see here you can see some gland. So what you can infer is that this area is still have, it has some normal pattern. This one you see here. So what we can do, that even if in malignant tissues you see glands also, no, like Hariom was confused, we can grade. So this is not highly invasive. till now we can say that okay, the structures are good, structures are still visible, maybe the cancer has not advanced. We can come to this conclusion. You understand? Suppose if it is malignant, okay, still you can see some structures and some gland. What you can say that cancer has not advanced yet. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.